My name is Alicia Roberts Novak, and I'm the host of the GenerationX studio. We felt that, this would be a good way for us to kind of talk about an era that seems to be kind of forgotten, right?
Welcome to the Gen X studio, where members of Generation X come onto the show to tell their stories. Our goal is to document not only the experiences of growing up Generation X, but also share our perspectives with future generations, in the hope that they can learn about the past and use that knowledge to help build a better future. Join us and find out what makes Generation X great. Let's go. On today's episode of the Gen X Studio, we're still on location at the Chosen Few Picnic as Alicia sits down with festival attendees to discuss the role that house music has played in their lives, as well as the importance of the Gen X project.
We are so excited for you guys to join us at the Chosen Few House Festival and Picnic. We're looking forward to hearing stories from many different people and many different genres from many different backgrounds today. Join us and can stay tuned. So Keila, thank you so much for joining the Gen X studio today. So tell us a little bit about it, what it was, like for you growing up.
Oh, for me growing up, I love the era that I came through because everybody was family. You had people on the next block, we call them auntie. It
Right.
was a community. Everybody, basically was cousins.
Yeah.
You get in trouble, auntie down the street can whoop you. And I think that's what I like. It was just a community of people.
Yeah. So as we talk about being out here for the Chosen Few Picnic, which as you guys know is an amazing musical festival
Yes.
we're attending today. Who's your favorite DJ?
Oh God, Alan King. I like New on the Block. I like some of the ladies doing their things. I like Nikki.
Yeah.
I just can't really think of the names because I just moved to the music.
It's so funny because back in the day, there was a DJ Alicia that I remember working for because I originally started getting my fake ID, don't tell my mom, but getting my fake ID so I could go to the parties that Frankie Knuckles was having.
Yes,
so I would go to his
yes.
parties, and then we were friends with and I was putting this on the page today talking to Terry and them.
Yeah.
I was friends with a bunch of the different guys back then, or at least my family was, but then I carried crates for Lil Lewis and Farley back in the day. And that's kind of how I was part of the scene from the beginning. And that's how I met actually the Chosen Few coming up. And that's why, meeting Wayne, meeting Terry, meeting Andre over the years, we've always stayed close and I've always supported everything that they've ever done.
Awesome.
So we talk about songs, what is one of your bangers that you just gotta?
Oh gosh, when house music, the one that say house.
Yes.
You know what? And just you really back in the day just going to the warehouse.
Yes.
In the underground.
Yes.
Just partying, banging it out to the speakers.
Yeah.
You really never had to have a dance partner with house music.
There was no fighting.
No fighting, no guns.
No issues. And it's funny because if you back then we didn't have cars. Your parents would drop you off. They wouldn't pick you up until later. Because a lot of them were juice bars. There was no alcohol.
Exactly.
So it was water and juice. I think it was 50 cents. For a while, I think we were dating ourselves, but that's okay. So if you have something to share about that experience with the kids now, actually, just trying to keep them to understand that, we need to chill, as we used to say, right? Tone it down, everything don't have to be lit, and just let them know about some of the things that, it makes it sexier, right? It makes it more grown and sexy when there's no fighting.
It does. That's one thing I like about even coming out here. It's no violence, you're stepping on people's toes. Ain't nobody gonna go off or try to pop you off, as the kids say, because you stepped on their toes. Back in the day, I remember, just partying. We were actually knock each other down, dancing, because you just dancing to the music, not paying attention.
Right.
And you're gonna find people stepping on toes. One thing I liked too, it was all backgrounds that came and listened to house music, just like it is out here.
Yeah.
And just for them to know that it's okay to just party and chill. Things happen. Don't take everything so personal.
Exactly, and it's so funny because it's part of the house festival every year. Kids get in free. So we get to bring generation after generation back. And that's what this project is all about. Tell us why you joined the project.
I joined the project because I believe in what you're trying to do. I believe in a mission. I actually myself, I give money to kids going away to college. And it's actually my two goddaughters are coming out here. They came like 4 years ago and they've been hooked. And they're only like 25 years old, but they've been hooked. They
Yeah.
were like, at first they thought it was old people. And then I guess they call me old. But then now they got to come every year. They like, okay, buy tickets right away. So it's
Yeah.
just they learning how to party in a good, wholesome atmosphere.
Right. And that's also why it's called Generation X. We want all generations to join us. Part of our crew, Cece, who you can't see,
All right.
is off camera right now, and she's part of our new generation, our Generation iGens, I say the best, right? Generation there is. And we also have more millennials that are on our crew as well. So it's
Awesome.
always good to get everybody together, particularly for a great cause.
Yes.
And you guys continue to donate to the Generation X project because we want to continue to send children like the ones that we're inspiring today off to college. Thanks so much. And like we said before, this is how we do it on the Gen X studio.
That's right.
Thank you so
Thank you.
much. What was it like growing up? During like whenever. You don't have to give your age, you don't have to give your year.
Okay,
You can just
I'm on
talk
this
about
side of the
like,
service,
hey,
cool.
what was it like growing up, and like enjoying like being with family?
Grew up on the south side, Greater Grand Crossing.
South Side.
Greater Grand Crossing, which is like the zip code is 21, which is the same for Inglewood. So I claim Inglewood as my set too.
Okay.
It's beautiful. It was very insulated. I mean, I think the narrative of neighborhoods is somewhat negative because when I was a kid, they saw I was in school, they saw I played sports. The OGs would not let anybody recruit us. If you were a woman, if you were an elderly person, you were a child.
Well, let me stop you there because I know back in the day, Lindblom, for example, which is one of the high schools you go to, you went to, that's there. But I also know that 63rd and Halstead was a major hub for business within that particular community.
Oh,
And-
Alvernia Fulton, who was she was an herbologist, natural medicine person. She was about, what is that, 1 block west of Walcott on 63rd. She had a program and she was doing like a lot of wellness as far as not going through a pharmaceutical ways, but more natural stuff. Your turmerics and reflexology is wonderful. A lot of education with that. The neighborhood was
So
good.
now when people hear about Chicago, and particularly in the Inglewood area, they always want to talk about the negative things, but they don't realize a lot of positive things still come out of Inglewood. I know for a fact that they're rebuilding not only the business district, but a lot of large companies are investing back into that neighborhood, right?
Right, but look at the aesthetics of Inglewood too. It's perfect. It's right close to the expressway. You have many modes of transportation to get downtown or wherever you need to go. There's a lot of wide open space and there's a lot of potential for growth out there. So they're trying to tap into something that we've always known.
So I got a question for you. Why did you decide to be part of the Gen X project?
Well, Lindblom class of 1983. And of course, I see you all the time and I saw your passion. And the only thing I could think of, what can I do to help as far as come in, give my time, give my testimony. I didn't know I was going to Lindblom because I live like in close proximity to Robeson, Inglewood, and Simeon, and my mom told me you're not taking no tests there because I would have been like a senior as a freshman because I knew everyone. My mama said, no, you ain't going there, you going to Lindblom. That's why I say you always listen to your mama.
And that's why this project is so important. And that's why we're out here today listening to this wonderful music and also bringing more attention to the project. That's why we wanted to have this as our first live event because we knew that we would get a lot of people from the neighborhood that we're going to be actually giving the funds back to, for it's our first project. But also, this is the soundtrack of a lot of people's lives. Tell us what The Chosen Few means to you in house music.
Well, being an old head, I remember when it was behind the museum. I remember when it was free. I remember when it was so much smaller. It was more intimate. And as you know, because we went to Lindblom, we kind of were put into it by default.
Yeah.
We had Steve Hurley, we had E.T., we had Sheldon Randolph. We had all these guys that were spinning, so we were more like guinea pigs. And as it grew, we were already in it. And it was something that we love. And as a 56-year-old man, I've been doing this for 30-something years.
Wow. Well, thanks so much for stopping by, Guy.
Always
we
my
appreciate
pleasure.
you telling your story and tell everybody, give to the Gen X project.
Please give to the Gen X project. You want these young women and men to have the same experience that we had because it's unparalleled. It'll take you places you never thought you could go. I'm telling you, it's paramount that you do. Please do. I'm begging you to do it. Swoop.
And that's how we do on the GenX Studio. Thank you so much for joining us on the GenX Studio, my love.
Absolutely.
You having a good time so far?
I am.
Awesome. I'm so happy that you joined us because I want to know, seriously, like, what is the best thing about being in Chicago during the summertime? From when you were little or like now, growing up?
Well, I will be completely honest right now. I'm a suburbanite, so I live Southwest, but Chicago is absolutely beautiful. I love the skyline, I love the energy, and I love my people.
So you had a favorite song to pick, like kind of like out of the house head genre. Like, what is your song that you go to when you're like, DJ?
You
That's
know
my
what? That's a
song.
great question. I don't think I have like a favorite song.
Okay.
I love house music. Obviously, I'm a house head. That's our generation. I don't think I have like one particular song. I don't think I have one particular DJ because again, that's our era. That's our DJs. And of course, if you choose one, then you're gonna be in trouble.
You're right. I really appreciate you joining not only the studio, but also joining the project because I happen to know that you've been keeping up with us. You've been supporting us since the beginning because we want to make sure that kids are going to college. We want to make sure that people continue to donate so that we can make sure we can send even more kids next year. And you also know that we're developing a museum, right?
That's true.
Right, based on us, for us, by us, so that we can continue to bring that to our communities to raise more funds, not just to send kids to college, but also to give them jobs and support businesses locally. But I want to thank you so much. And hey, this is how we do on the GenerationX Studio because we always have the best and the brightest and the finest. Thanks so much for joining us.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Hey, Russ, how you doing?
Good afternoon. How are you?
I'm good. Thanks so much for stopping by the GenX Studio today. I know that you are also part of the GenX project and you're out here representing Lim Bloom.
Lim Bloom Eagles one time swoop.
Yes, in the south side of Chicago. So we're not far. We're in the south side of Chicago. And I just could not wait to talk to you because I know that you have some amazing stories about what it was like growing up on the south side.
Absolutely.
What it was like to be part of the social groups on the south side, going to all of the house parties.
Absolutely.
As well as listening and spinning like some of the best music known in history that is winning Grammys, that's still inspiring Oscars, that are like being used for so many soundtracks and so many genres that are today. So let's start with that. Tell me what it was like growing up.
Well, I originally growing up in Robert Taylor Homes. So what got me to Lim Bloom is that most of the kids that grew up and went to my grammar school, they were all in DuSable Dunbar neighborhood area.
Yeah.
But I just happened to take the test for Lim Bloom, pass the test for Lim Bloom, and something just drew me there. And eventually wound up going to Lim Bloom, struggle through the neighborhood. You know, definitely had to battle with the guys in the neighborhood coming through there every day. And also during that time of coming through there, joining the football team, finding some brothers to band with that kind of helped us deal with the neighborhood bullies.
And that's what I wanted to talk to you about, the social groups. What social group were you part of in high school?
I was a part of the family. So.
And then you went on to be what part of what
I'm
fraternity?
in Omega Psi. I'm part of Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated.
See? And that was something I think that as we talk about to our young people, that they need to understand that you can find your place even coming from adversity.
Absolutely.
And finding family and brotherhood and using that to give back to the community. And that's what I love about you, Russ.
Absolutely. And now the family started in 1977.
Yes.
And it also started with dealing with the neighborhood. And from that point, it's been going on for 45 years. And also myself being a part of the organization for 41 years.
Oh, wow.
And we also talk to the youth and also want to give things back to Lim Bloom and give back to the neighborhood. But it's a brotherhood that I'll never forget. Being a part of Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated is a brotherhood that I'll never forget. And just being a part of this GenX project has been something that I'll never forget. It's been exciting. It's so exciting to come sit down here and help tell my story and talk to you and see you. House music is an incredible genre of music.
Isn't it? We're out here rocking today.
Remember going to AKs and Sawyers back in the day, rocking the long black trench coats and just loving house music. Farley Keith, you know, Pierre Dungan,
yes, the
Mike Dunn.
Godfather
Absolutely.
of house music.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And just, you know, loving those DJs, loving their music, and just loving the high school experience that we had.
Well, I can't thank you enough for coming on, interviewing, being part of the project, letting everybody know why it's so important to give and donate to the GenX project, and to come and also interview in the GenX studio. We're going to be coming out with podcasts. We're going to be rolling out more promos for fundraisers going on throughout the year. And we all know this is cultivated in our museum, mobile museum project that will be open this October at the Illinois State Museum. And once again, Russ, thank you so much for stopping
You're
by.
absolutely
I know
welcome.
you out here grilling and killing it.
I am absolutely doing
that.
that.
This is how we do on the GenX studio. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Have a great day.
You too. We've been here all day at the Chosen Few House Festival and Picnic. As you guys know, we brought you everything from food, fashion, fun, non-for-profits, special guests, and we cannot end the day without meeting with the person who we are so happy to be partnering with on the Illinois State Museum project, which is GenerationX's program for the first year, which is with Lindblom Technical High School. And this is their head, or their, I should say, their president of their alumni association, Julie Sims. How you doing, Julie?
I'm good. It's good to be out here.
So tell me a little bit about why you decided to join the GenX project to begin with.
I think it's important to share the history of not only being a Gen X, but being a Gen X through the lens of being a Lindblom alumni.
Yeah.
Because it played such a pivotal role in who we are as mature adults today. So it's very, very exciting, and it's an excellent project for Lindblom as well.
You know, with this particular project, I had no idea how it was going to grow, and you in partnership, along with the principal at Lindblom right now, has really taken it to the next level, which is why we actually came up with the GenX studio to raise funds to donate so that we could give back in scholarships to the class of 2023. Now, Julie and I were actually at the graduation for 2022 students. Tell us a little bit about why you had that particular ceremony and what the pinning ceremony actually means.
So it's important that the alumni body, because we're such a robust and fun and welcoming alumni association, that we go back and just welcome our new alumni in there. It is very important. It's very important that they see that the alumni are invested in their future, that we are cheering for them as they graduate, and that we're there. So we pin them at the graduation, which is an honor for us.
Yes, it is.
And it's a big hug for them, because we can also listen to what schools they're going to and what goals they're pursuing, and we can be helpful in those spaces if they need to reach out to us.
And those are some of the things that we're doing with the GenerationX project, as we said before. This particular high school is very true to my heart, but we're going to be actually expanding this out to more schools and more non-for-profits. You guys saw here, we have plenty of non-for-profits that are interested in joining on. We have plenty of companies that are interested in joining with us to donate, to raise funds, but also to come in and mentor and start programs of their own to help build out the mobile museum that we're started that's dedicated to every generation, starting with GenerationX. Now I have to ask you, we're here at the Chosen Few Picnic, and it's brought back so much nostalgia for what it was like growing up. Not just baby boomers and Generation X, but also we had a lot of millennials that came on that were very, very excited to talk about what, you know, growing up in Chicago, for example, what it was like growing up in their era, and how music has enriched their lives. How has music enriched your life?
So music was everything growing up. House music from the parties at Mendel. I went to Lindblom. My first cousin, she went to Kenwood, and we spent all our time together running down all the parties, whether we were old enough to get into them or not, on the north side, just listening to house music, because house music represents freedom, right? It represents a space where you can be safe and you can express yourself. And so that's really the most important part.
Yeah.
And that's the feel good. That's why you see all these people out here. This is a love fest. That's what this is. And it is dear to our hearts, because we are Gen X people who grew up in the house music scene. So as we hear right now, mixing in church music.
Right.
Hey, you can be out here and be yourself.
And
yet connect
and what
with
a
the
better
light bill
way,
too, all right?
And what a better way to end our segment here than with a little bit of church. Brian, take it away. out. You won't find this anywhere on any other station than the Generation X studio. Thank you so much for joining us today. And don't forget, click, share, and donate because, hey, nobody does it like us. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Coming up next on the Gen X Studio, Alicia talks with another member of Generation X so they can tell their story. If you'd like to donate or be a part of the Gen X project, contact us at GenXQUE, that's genxq.org.